Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna everyone. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. We'll continue reading chapter 17 of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya book. According to Mayavadi philosophy, it is understood that in the personality of Godhead, in the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in the matter of devotional service, the emotional devotees are all under the spell of Maya and are therefore subjected to the material condition. Persons who forget the transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his transcendental abode and devotional service, as well as the devotee, consider that these are different examples of material activity. Such persons are called karmis or actors in fruitive activities. When one thinks that there is a possibility of arguing about transcendence, he is called agnostic. And when one thinks that there is the possibility to criticize transcendence, he is called atheist. Lord Chaitanya wanted to accept all these different kinds of agnostics, atheists, skeptics, and unfaithfuls and swallow them in the flood of love of God. Therefore, he accepted the four orders of life and he accepted the renounced order of life in order to attract all these forces. Lord Chaitanya remained a householder until 24 only, and in the 25th year of his life, he accepted the renounced order. After accepting the renounced order, he attracted many other renounced order sannyasis. During the time that he had been executing the Sankirtan movement in his family, many Mayavadi sannyasis did not take his movement very seriously. Similarly, the Lord also delivered the speculative students, atheists, and those who were attached to fruitive activities and unnecessary criticism after he accepted the sannyasi order of life. The Lord was so kind that he accepted all of them and delivered to them the most important factor of life, love of God. To fulfill the mission of the Lord, bestowing love of God upon conditioned souls, he devised many methods to accept all those disinterested in the matter of love of God. After he accepted the renounced order, all agnostics and critics, atheists and mental speculators became the students and followers of Lord Chaitanya. Even many of those who were not Hindus or the followers of the Vedic principles of life also accepted Lord Chaitanya as the supreme teacher. Those sannyasis who were known as the Mayavadi philosophers of Banaras were the only persons who avoided the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The plight of the Mayavadi philosophies is described as follows by Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. The Mayavadi philosophers of Banaras are less intelligent because they want to measure everything by direct perception, but everything they have is a calculation of material perception. The absolute truth is transcendence, but according to them, there is no variegatedness in transcendence because they say that anything which is full of variegatedness is Maya. During Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, there were other philosophers known as the Mayavadi philosophers of Sarnath. Sarnath is a place near Banaras where Buddhist philosophers were residing, and even today there are many stupas of the Buddhist Mayavadi. The Mayavadi philosophers of Sarnath are different from the impersonalists who believe in the impersonal manifestation of Brahman. According to the Sarnath philosophers, there is no spiritual existence. Spiritually, both the Mayavadi philosophers of Banaras and the philosophers of Sarnath are entrapped by the material nature. None of them actually knows the nature of the absolute transcendence. The philosophers of Benares, although accepting the Vedic principles superficially and accepting themselves as transcendentalists, do not agree to accept spiritual varietedness. They have no information about devotional service and therefore they are called non devotees or against the devotional service of Lord Krishna. The impersonalists the impersonalists speculate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees subjected to the direct perception of knowledge. The Lord and his devotee and his devotional service, however, are not subject to direct perception. In other words, spiritual varietedness is unknown to the Mayavadi philosophy, and therefore all the Mayavadi philosophers and sannyasis began to criticize him because he was conducting the Sankirtan movement. They were surprised to see Lord Chaitanya because he belonged to the Mayavadi sect of sannyasis, having accepted his sannyas order from Keshav Bharati, who belonged to the Mayavadi school. They were surprised to see him engaged in chanting and dancing and not engaged in the matter of hearing or reading Vedanta, as is the custom. The Mayavadi philosophers are very fond of Vedanta and misinterpret it in their own way. The Mayavadi sannyasis, instead of understanding their own position, begin to criticize Lord Chaitanya as an unauthorized sannyasi. They criticized that he was sentimental and not actually a bona fide sannyasi. All these criticisms were carried to Lord Chaitanya when he was at Benares, and he was not at all surprised. He smiled when the news was carried to him. He, however, did not associate with the Mayavadi sannyasis, but used to remain alone and execute his own mission. And after staying for some days in Benares, he started for Mathura. Okay, that is the end of chapter 17. Shall I continue for chapter 18 too?
I think we can stop.
Okay. Okay, so tomorrow we'll read chapter 18. So today we read like we finished chapter 17 and we see the big it is mentioned like who are karmis, who are agnosti and who are atheist. And we see like Lord Chaitanya is so merciful that he wanted to accept all these, including unfaithful, and swallow them in the flood of love of God. Therefore, he accepted the four orders of life, and he also accepted announced order of life at the age of 25. Was a householder till 24 and accepted announced order of life at 25th year. And we also read about how everybody was like everybody accepted him except the Mayavadi philosophers of Banaras and Mayavadi philosophers of Saranatha. They avoided the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they were less intelligent. They did not know. They were not able to understand actually the spiritual varietedness, and they were trying to measure the spiritual thing by the material nature, and they were not even able to understand that the about the Lord, the devotee and the devotional service. And they criticize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instead of understanding their own position. Yeah, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted sannyas from the Mayavadi Guru, that is Kesava Bharati, and as per Mayavadis, they should always busy engage themselves in studying the Vedanta, and they were very like very expert in interpreting the Vedanta Sutra for their own from their own mental speculation. And for them, like as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was busy in chanting, dancing, and like a musical using the playing the musical instruments, they which is against as per them, these are sinful activities. And for them, so they were like thinking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not following the proper what they used to follow. Yeah. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like he knows that yeah, they are criticizing him, but he did not care for those things, and he was busy in his own mission, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here to spread the love of God to everyone. So he did not care for anything. Tomorrow we'll read more in chapter 18. We can continue for chanting.